one headphone in. Let me put the other one in so we can get the noise canceling a bit better here. There's that. As you can see now, also, my camera's working once more. I'm going to make sure that the headset works. There's one more thing just to get this thing to act right. There's that. Right. Now, things should be working smoothly, although there are always no guarantees when dealing with Swiss tube. You know, when I put a name on something, boy, y'all get upset. But this thing, I put a name on it and it come out to be factual, and then you be all upset. So, what you don't know over here on YouTube is over on Facebook because I am in the city of Tucson, where young Mr. James's son is going to school, right? I've been tagging the LeBron Family Foundation, blah blah blah, gobbledygook. It had nothing to do with nothing. Okay, I want you to understand something. I recognize as a black businesswoman that a black businessman is coming to this city and he's gonna want to spend his money and keep his son up in the game so that he can seem cool around this motherfucker. You see, California cool ain't Tucson, Arizona cool. So that's the first thing I did was put him on notice. Don't have your kid out here acting up and fucking up because he got funds. You're gonna get him fucked up. There's some kids in Tucson got more money than honey. Somebody had to make you king. All the motherfuckers come from kings and queens, and they go to school in the city. Same with Durham, North Carolina. Same with Memphis, Tennessee. So you see, you all want to play with people, right? You never know who knows who in this city. I know when it comes to what specifically financial literacy. The cat that I used to work with went out and fundraised for 35 years in this city. So when he and I spoke about me being able to be the president one day, he was like, hell yeah, you can do it. Bruh, 2:22 on the clock. I was already about my business. So what I want you to understand right now, Mr. James, is Tucson don't need your BLM money. Your BLM money is my money, motherfucker. So at the end of the day, you can just take your ass on where you came from. We don't fuck with people's wives. We don't fuck with people's children. We don't put your business out of somebody in the city. And as far as I can tell, you ain't came for me. You might be looking for your BLM money, but it doesn't matter because it belongs to me. Those two women who started that business put that information on their tax filings so that they were actually out here for those people who had been killed on the streets. Now, in Tucson and everywhere else, 1,000 people a year. They ain't got no race, they ain't got no name, they ain't got nothing. 1,000 people, human beings, innocent ones. Because the police don't have the right to murder anybody in the street. There are specific guidelines and rules for when you are supposed to engage someone in actual. They have got to be putting your life in danger. Okay? So, me having said this in Memphis, and then come all the way here to Tucson and said this again, and BLM, them blah, 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 and all for me, and eating off me too. Oh, yes, no. Despite they ain't had no race. So when I went over there to them Enough is Enough boys, I was like, all right, this is probably a better place to make the case because it's their lives who are in danger and the demographics they talk to. All right? So then I move on and I start talking to them. Do you know these fools want to tie me up too? You got me all the way messed up. I will mess your whole life up playing with me. This some I want to be rich ish. I ain't gonna put it on a specific group no more. Because you got ignorant people who ain't never been able to get inside of a DAMN gang over here talking about they got goons and gangsters on their side. I've been invited in. That's why I can sit here and speak differently about it. Because they know what I'm about. I was choking bitches when I was like 18, 20 years old. I had a fighting soul. My father told me as during the military I didn't have enough discipline. Dollars to donuts. I'm 444. Might as well be one in real motherfucking life. So don't come around here. Then I ain't prepared for it. You'll never see it coming. You know y'all can't tell when I'm gonna smile or fuck you up. Oh no, sorry. I don't have any cigarettes. I don't see someone else that'll get me locked up out here. That's normal. Why? Because everybody work for their shit. That's the problem we got here in 2020 and Tucson started inviting in people. And see, that's the thing about the problem with what Donald Trump's been saying. He's been calling it a sanctuary city and going after specific people. Well, what I was saying is that the people that you brought in here for capital and whatnot are tearing your city inside out. They don't know nothing about your city, nothing about the people around here. And then they came in here doing nefarious shit. Got with the ones who you knew was here doing nefarious shit. You just couldn't figure out how to get them up out of your halls of justice. Pardon me. And just the unfortunate truth of the matter is, and this is where we are in history, for every small city, you kind of need this. Okay? I'm not saying that you need to be brought up on criminal charges. What I'm saying is, you need to go to the higher ups, whomever that may be in your city and state, and say, look, listen, we need to have either AmeriCorps and a full team come in, or the federal organizations that match the needs that we are lacking in education wise. We need them in those positions and to help us find someone who may lack the actual paper knowledge, but they can do the job. And then we can build out from there. But you are in danger otherwise. You're in danger of falling all the way down to the point where you become a bankrupt city. You're in danger of being overrun by people who do not look like you, have more money than you, and will take your stuff from you. You are in danger of being gentrified, basically. You're in danger of being pushed out of your own homes, no matter how long you've been here. And if this city does not allow the feds or whomever it is that they're sending in to take over these, one, where management was already failing and lacking, and two, where you are short-handed and trying to get around it by hiring people who barely have a high school degree and to continue your education. It's not meeting the metrics. You are falling short. Your money is going missing. People are embezzling and don't even realize it. They don't have enough knowledge about some things. I'm going to say this because people really, one, listened and found out the truth, yet two, I just want to make sure that it's clear here, right? The woman whose name time ago, Natalie, the situations in Sister Jose. This is all because once I got, okay, first of all, I applied for this a position at the Gospel Rescue Mission. No one knew about it until the day that I was going, the day before I was going to leave. That was the day of my interview, and I had to go through, and everyone saw me go out and come back in, go through my interview. And my interview was 2 hours long. You pretty much knew I had the job. And all of a sudden I did it. And before I could even finish up changing my clothes, somebody was talking stuff about what I got going on in my personal life. All through the Gospel Rescue Mission. So then I get to Sister Jose. And my personal life becomes a topic of discussion once more. And I'm like, y'all really need to mind your business out here. It's nobody's business but my own. And so on and on and on. Mr. James has a foundation, a nonprofit. That's the reason why I started telling them, don't come down here spreading your money around and you don't know what's going on in this damn town. Then all the rest of it kicks in. These women get jealous and upset because I give counsel to, and spiritual counsel in this case, because it's relevant. These are tarot readers and knuckleheads, okay? Honestly, most of them were not from this city, and I got with the few that were from this city who were drugged out. And because they were drugged out and white, they just knew that old black me must have been like them. And their family members who were in these upper parts of government were right along with that shit. And it took me coming in to be able to see it. That's why the government sent me here. to make sure their junior achievement needed they were asking for because they were asking for government money, and then to say what it was that I saw by way of SWOT analysis. That's it. I did all of that, and because I did that, I ended up getting blacklisted in this city by the same people related to these people, by the same people that I helped get elected because of what they were speaking on, not because they were Democrats. To be honest, if my ballot has anything more than that and cannabis on it from 2020, it's because I was bored. But I know that I skipped over the 2020, the last election. So the one before that, I voted for Biden just because I said if you get Trump back in office, that's it. The cool is done with. Then these dingleberries here with the Black Lives Matter, they make it a whole separate case. Like, Lord have mercy. I never said I was a liberal in the first place. I am basically an independent. I will caucus with Republicans before I caucus with Democrats. And when it comes down to being elected, I would prefer to be elected as an independent rather than a Republican so that we can stand up for our fucking independence again. Hello? Common sense says we've had two parties for too long. It's failed us. We need to open the door to more. So this is we have a third party. Everybody can always push. Tell, listen, we're not gonna play this game of tiddlywinks with y'all. Either we all get this party going, or we'll go over here and get rid of you once more. Right inside, we do not have to leave these shores. You understand? Anybody gotta go walk out the house and do shit. I gotta do all the ballots. I'm an independent. I vote for this person in my state or city. Tell that person, and they your president. Damn, what the hell them other people got going on? Ain't nothing that they can do. You still got the two parties. You just added a third party, and this one that ain't even got to exist out in the real world, so they really can't mess with you, girl. The people got sick of the two-party system and decided, with this moment in history, we're going to take one name, we're going to put it on the ballot all over the place. We're going to tell that person can be there in enough time to be considered a resident, or we're going to make them a resident, and they're gonna caucus in our state. We're going to go visit them wherever they. Matter of fact, we're going to invite them to. I'm thinking about this shit. Where's the cool shit? Hold on. Okay, this is campaign finance before it made us spiders. Here's what I was thinking. You to get rid of dark money and all of the rest of it, right at the bottom. Bernie had a good idea, he just didn't flesh that shit out good enough, right? So, let the little guy give the candidate whatever the littlest guy can give the candidate, right? Money in hand, right? Keep records, keep records. Someone in the pack, whatever, has to keep records of this shit. But basically, here's how it goes, right? Because I want to do what I call porch politics, right? Sit on the porch, smoke a blunt, talk about it, and be as solution based as possible, right? Okay, people who smoke cannabis are very much solution based. So, the great population to start with. You gotta make $20,000 in every state, right? So if all the little guys come together in the state and they take the $20,000 and rather than giving it to the candidate, they put it on the books around that city and or state for the candidate as long as they're there, right? That candidate can go anywhere, get something to eat, get something to drink, go somewhere to sleep, whatever it is, right? And then that is, excuse me, taken out of that pool of funds. That pool of funds is what they are paying into by way of the FEC, the three. That's that basic pool of money. Basic was supposed to be anyway. This is a different way of putting it out there. Because say y'all got two people who are at the top. Well, you want to be able to have them both caucus. You don't have them in the same spot at the same time, so it's not overbearing to the accounts of the city and state. Because they got to take up them and at least their what's it called? Like their staff. Okay. By that I mean their communications person, their chief of staff, the candidate, uh, secretary, uh, uh, and treasurer. Okay, at least those five. And then security can kick in if that person is someone who needs security sooner than later from the United States government, because then there's money for that. Okay, on the other side, right? Another way of going about it, since we're talking about being on someone's porch, right? Is those people who have the money where they could take somebody and bring them in their house for like 30 days, instead of doing that, let them come to your porch, and that's going to be where y'all have your committee meetings and you talk to the community and you introduce them to other people, but you fund on your end the same thing with the hotels and places to eat, whatever, because then you're kind of like their concierge, right? That's your gift in exchange, right, for being there for the city, state, and the candidate. I did that in 16 minutes. Okay? Now we've got money to move that's not even actually including the very little of people who want to get involved, right? The marginalized people. So they pick up the other stuff. They make sure that the city looks good. You put them in housing. They make sure that everything else is developed. When the candidates come through, it looks good. You can put it on TV. It makes the news. It goes global. The way that you're doing things, it's amazing. Da, 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 da. And you have done it without the people in the first place. That seems like democracy. That seems like unity. A city and a state that's moving in harmony. And that's something that we need around the world. People people are proud of themselves for being able to come together in unison um, where these protests are concerned. I think that's a beautiful thing. And as a family member, I'm thankful. There are some of you who have been fighting since day one, since before it affected me personally. I was one of those people and continue to do so. So thank you to you. Thank you for not accepting the nonsense. The oh well we just don't kiss and make up stuff. No, not anymore. We need actual justice. There are family members who are hanging on by a thread. Criminal mindedness is too prevalent. They can't get up and discuss anything. And that's why I'm speaking. Turned on their community because they felt betrayed by their community. I felt betrayed enough to go and seek amnesty. I also said that I didn't want to leave my country. I just didn't want to be held against my will for what it is that I believe is justice. Now that we're seeing more and more police officers get justice, I'm speaking more and more about universal justice. Does that mean that I put my family first? Well, yes. Only in the sense that the people who, along with me, have lost a family member to police violence. Is it my fault that that crosses race lines and includes slavery by way of police officers only being modern day slave catchers? Not my fault that we never cleaned up those things that were hiding beneath the surface. They were tattooed on the spirit of the and soul of those who had no control. They were born in the belly of the beast. Some of them were born on ships and thrown out to sea. One of the things that most disgusts me as a black woman is when I hear anyone say, "Oh, I want to have a baby with somebody of a different way so they can have pretty hair and a pretty face." That's so disgusting. Different being, that means you don't love the person or the child. You just love the imagery that you believe you're going to see. That baby come out looking just like their parent, the other one, you don't identify with them, you treat them like shit, you throw them out your house. Oh, the things you do, the things you do. I was a young mother. First child was when I was 20, basically. He looked just like his father. That Dante is nothing like him. So it's very easy for me to look into the face and see Dante and not that other guy. Get it? You know, maybe maybe the difference did it, but at the same time, it's the characteristics and the makeup of the human being, and that comes from the beginning. Just saying, my sons need love from the start because I was singing to them and doing the right thing. Even when I was a young mother, I didn't know everything. Yet I learned, and I did my best to figure it out fast. Because a month after he was born, my mother passed, and the following Christmas, my sons, my uh, the following Christmas, we went to my in-laws' house. We're on the at the door, knock on the door, ring the bell, open the door. She speaks a little bit. She looks at Dante. She says, "Come to your only grandmama." Mama hadn't even been in the ground a year. Father. People for being so callous. I remember the first time I really felt the callus. Like, I went on my foot when I was young. People get them all the time, but I mean, like, my chest callus from holding my knife. I was proud of that one. Right? Now, I don't like the way that it feels because you know how it is, a callus underneath it, it's painful. There's always that sharp spot, right? So I always try to get rid of it, but I'm always proud of that chest callus. It was mine. No one can take it from me, right? After all of it, uh, the number of times that I was near death and I managed to hang on to it, I'm so thankful for it. It was a blessing from the Most High God for seeking no other shelter in the midst of my storm. It's okay to seek comfort. We're human. We want kindness. We even want love. But you don't believe that God loves you enough. You love you enough. You don't believe in you enough and have faith that you'll achieve your victories. You gotta believe that you can come back from death. I saw my son today, Tony. I love them in an amazing way. Like I just be wanting to tickle them like the small children that they were, and touch their cheeks, and oh, I still see those little men underneath marching off to kindergarten. I'm proud of us. I believe that everybody should be able to say that, and not because of some artificial identity. Be proud of who you are as a human being. Proud that you stand out in the world. And the funniest thing to me is we're so loving that we stand out in front of people who are actually kind of like really loving, and so they start looking and laughing because they're like, "Oh, I know what that is," and it's this, it's almost like a smoke session without the weed. That's what it is when people say they're high on life. Um, that's what it is to be caught up in the spirit, the moment, to be at a ball game and to be feeling it, right? That's all that it is. That's all that it is. And when we recognize that we can give that to anybody, it's so funny. I saw him say on camera. And he was just saying to me that he wanted me to go out and spread love. I was like, dude, we spread love wherever we are. And then, like, to see it in real time, I'm sure it tickles him sometimes. It tickles me. And it's just that I needed him to do something for me. And I told him to keep money. He said, nah, mom, it's all yours. And I was like, dude, just take the money. No, I'm not taking the money. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, let me buy something for your girlfriend. No. I mean, dude, the point being, he knows that while I run a sustainable business and whatnot, I have chosen to not go into the shelters or any of those things. And I use medical marijuana. That won't nobody let me get a job nowhere, pretty much because won't nobody let him get one. And it has to do with all of this. Right? Instagram, he was just like, nah, man, you keep it for yourself. I'll be fine out here. And I'm thankful for that level of understanding. The level of understanding that when he saw me with all of my bags, he was like, here, let me just grab this one real quick. You know? I walked into the QT. Look, QT used to me. The guys there just used to me to walking off to where I'm going. So when I stopped and looked confused, they were like, everything cool? I'm looking for my son. And then he immediately opened his mouth. And I'm like, oh, thank you goodness. Because I felt like, no, I didn't want to have missed him. I knew he wasn't going to leave. It's just concern, right? We have to move away from worry, fear, panic, anxiety, stress. It's okay to be concerned. Just don't consume your concern to the point of worry. Don't overconsume the idea that someone's not going to come through for you. The average person tends to believe people are not going to do the right thing. When I make the statement, I trust people to be people, that is not what I mean. What I mean is when I meet you, someone like my sons, I recognize who you are as a human being. So I never mistreat or misuse what it is you are to me as a human being. In my time of need, I'm going to do my best to speak clearly, concisely, and, and help you to understand the moment that I'm in without pulling at your emotional heartstrings, right? To allow the room to exist for someone to say no where they have to and say yes as often as possible without feeling like they're being milked for their own fight. That's how the average American feels today. And everybody's just asking them to do something. Even I am asking people to do something, yet what I'm asking them to do is to reverse how they've been moving to benefit themselves, to stop hustling backwards, to be more liberal with their no's, more conservative with their yeses, and more open with their time and their minds than their wallets, right? If we can do that, then we can begin to work together to achieve the victories that we really want to see. It's just until we do that, we're gonna always be in danger of rubbing each other the wrong way, not knowing how to communicate the need in the moment. Because what the military says is true. Piss poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine. Right? Even at this moment in history, people think I'm supposed to be doing X, Y, and Z. Yet I had a plan in mind on what I was going to be doing. So when things come up that make that easier, of course, I'm going to lean into it. When things come up that make that more difficult for me, I'm pretty much going to move away from it. And if it's something that's going to be harmful, especially people recently, that's just become a thing for me. People may be offended by the fact that I'm naming names, but you know what names does? It makes the world move. It's verifiable. It's proof, right? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong in these cases, though, it's because someone lied to me. So respectfully, why were they lying? Why would anybody lie about holding somebody hostage? Just out of curiosity. Why would someone lie about being held hostage? That's an entirely different thing. Now, me, I'm telling you, I've been held hostage financially, specifically by my ex-husband, the president, the state, over my statements around what's going on in this city and or state. That makes me a political hostage. That's an entirely different beast. And people really need to stop it. The reason I can tell you what I have been through and how it relates to other things does not make me the victim you want to make me out to be. That's why, excuse me, that's why I move away from the people who I have assisted getting out of this thing. I do not want them to believe that we are homies. We clicking it. We're not. I have a sustainable business that includes helping people get out of sex trafficking, human trafficking, and helping them to disindoctrinate themselves from the nonsense so that they can then transition into polite society, which is the other leg of my business. You see that? That's already three separate things. But you want to keep putting me in one stupid ass category. How about that? Let it go. Let it go. Because the answer is no when it comes to me working with the BLM people. I'm coming for that money. You might as well go ahead and just give it to me. Matter of fact, you probably shouldn't because it'll look like you're trying to bribe me at this time. You need to take all that money and turn it into tell them to give it to me. So it can be cleansed and we can make sure that it goes to the appropriate people. Otherwise, y'all are up on felony charges. To explain it, baby. But how you gonna make the case that you were a billionaire and you were not aware that sex trafficking, dark money laundering could be happening in your own organization. Everybody chickens come home to roost. Mission ready on a Monday. Always been my motto. Minding the business that pays me is telling nonprofits for free when they are in danger of money laundering. Now, if nonprofits would like to then pay me for my services, they need to come and see me so we can discuss their fee. I do it on a sliding scale based on the organization's ability, to pay. That is. Mm. I also do spiritual counseling for employees separate from the organization that's paying me, right, on a sliding scale fee, private, right? And then I also will do for the owner of said businesses that, pay into the foundation, consultations for them so you don't end up doing the same damn thing. Only thing is, you got to reach out to me, honey. You see? And I be checking. For instance, this last little bit of money that I got, it went to PayPal. We're not gonna be sending no more money through PayPal, by the way, people. None of the links on my stuff. For the time being, I don't do banking. I don't do business banking. Okay? There is too much going on in the financial market for me to stick my money into anything and think it's gonna stay safe and or clean. I refuse. I will move around town with a mountain of cash on my back before I do that, and I bet you ain't nobody gonna rob me. And I said this will happen. When people lose faith in their government, they're going to make a run on the banks. They won't be able to in this case because of things that are already in place. However, the banks won't be using their money to do nothing stupid either. I mean, like, lockdown on that shit. Not a stick moving. Now what y'all gonna do out this bitch? The Chinese market's already open. Today was a holiday for us, not them, right? So they done figured some shit out. Uh, Tomorrow, we're gonna see how it goes. I'm telling you now, though. If people can't get their money out of the bank to get money in hand, if not their stocks and bonds, their credit cards, they're gonna sink further into fucking debt because you want to keep fucking around with the Fed, Mr. President, Mr. James. I'm going to presume you understand everything that I said. You're a billionaire, partner. See how that works? Mm. And since possession is 9/10 of the law, and you seem to be the one attached to it with the most money, you possess the most uh, gain, capital that I can then reclaim, like time. I'm gonna be reclaiming my funds from you and everyone associated with you and the crimes against me and or the people seeking justice originally under the flag that you all then took and used for whatever you thought you were going to do. You cannot use the names of family members and friends and the deaths of others to eat and think there will not be justice. Now, thank you for keeping the beat with me, and peace.